All right, so like imagine walking into your office and you've got this like massive team working for you, like 20,000 specialists all just churning away in the background. Only it's not an office full of people, it's an army of AI agents. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Jahoy Pandey's article, 20,000 AI agents per company. How will they all work together?
Yeah, and it's really interesting how Panday frames it. Like, it's not just more automation, it's something way more fundamental. These agents are proactive. They're not just waiting for commands. They're anticipating need-solving problems before you even realize there is one.
Okay, so hold on. We're not talking about just another to-do list app here, right? These AI agents are making decisions, they're taking action. What kind of stuff are we actually talking about?
Think about like an agent that notices you're always running out of printer ink. It wouldn't just order more. It would like analyze your usage patterns, maybe suggest going paperless for some things, find the cheapest ink, and even factor in environment and impact. And that's just one tiny example.
Wow. Okay. So if every company has thousands of these things, this isn't just like tweaking how we work. We're talking about a whole new internet, right? That's where Pandy's Internet of Agents or IOA comes in.
Exactly. The current internet is fine for, sharing memes and ordering takeout. But AI agents need to exchange way more complex information. They need to share reasoning, collaborate in real time, make decisions based on this constant flow of data. It's just way beyond what we use the internet for today.
I get that these AI agents are communicating on a different level, but the internet's already pretty complex. What's so different about what these agents need?
Well, think about how we use the internet now, right? We search for stuff, we send messages, but AI agents, they need to share these like intricate models of understanding. So like imagine one agent specializes in supply chain logistics, and it needs to talk to another agent that's handling market trends. And they both need to factor in real-time weather data from yet another agent. It's not just sending a file, it's about sharing this deep understanding.
Okay, so Pandy uses this analogy of a symphony orchestra to describe this. With each AI agent as like a specialized musician, I gotta admit, I'm not quite picturing how that plays out in the real world.
Well, imagine an AI agent dedicated to writing code, another one focused on testing and security, and another that handles deployment. Each one has its own specific function, like an instrument in the orchestra. And the IOA is what allows them to all play together.
So instead of a bunch of agents doing their own thing, the ILA helps them create something that actually works. Okay, that's starting to make more sense. But like a real orchestra has a conductor, right? Is there something similar for the IOA?
That's where the idea of open ecosystems comes in. In a closed system, one company might try to control the whole orchestra. They'd limit which instruments can play together. But Pandy argues the IOA needs to be open, so agents from different developers can all seamlessly interact.
So it's less about one conductor and more about having a set of rules everyone agrees on, kind of like sheet music for our AI orchestra.
Exactly. Think about the early days of the internet. Open source tech like Linux and Apache really took off because they allowed for collaboration and drove innovation. Panday sees open ecosystems as crucial for the IOA to reach its full potential, and this code development example he gives really drives that point home.
It's interesting how this idea of open systems keeps coming up in tech. It's like this constant tension between wanting to control everything and realizing that collaboration often leads to the best outcomes. But with all these different agents and different developers, wouldn't we just end up with a tangled mess of incompatible systems?
That's where open standards and protocols come in. It wouldn't be this like chaotic free-for-all. We'd have this common language for AI agents to communicate. Sort of like how we all agree to use English when we're talking right now.
So, Jill, like learning a language, these AI agents need to be taught how to interact in a way that everyone understands. But even with a shared language, wouldn't there be a risk of these agents developing biases or like acting in ways we don't anticipate?
It's not just about the language. It's about like building in safeguards from the very beginning. We need to be able to audit these systems, understand how they make decisions, and make sure they're aligned with human values and goals.
It's like we're not just creating these agents, we're responsible for their education too, making sure they grow up to be responsible members of the digital world.
Yeah, exactly. And it really highlights the need for diverse perspectives in development. We need ethicists, social scientists, even everyday users involved, not just coders working in isolation.
So we're back to this idea of collaboration, not just between agents, but between the people who are actually building them. Seems like a recurring theme with Panday. But even if we get all that right, isn't there a risk that the IOA could become so complex that it's basically unmanageable? Like, imagine trying to debug a system with millions of interacting agents.
It's a huge challenge for sure. Panday acknowledges that. But managing complexity is also an opportunity. We'll need to develop new tools and approaches, maybe even AI agents designed to monitor and manage other agents.
Hold on, AI babysitting other AI? That sounds kind of like a sci-fi paradox.
It might sound like science fiction, but remember, we're already using AI for really complex stuff, like managing traffic flow and financial models. So managing the IOA will be a massive undertaking, but it's not impossible.
Okay, so we've talked about open ecosystems, the ethical considerations, the sheer complexity of managing all these agents. Feels like we're just scratching the surface here.
And that's why Panda's call to action is so important. He's urging everyone, developers, consumers, operators, everyone needs to come together and build the IOA the right way, as an open and collaborative system that benefits all of us.
He's basically saying we're all this together, so let's not screw it up. But with all these challenges, are there any real-world benefits that make the IOA worth the effort?
Absolutely. Like, imagine a world where you don't have to worry about scheduling meetings, or booking travel, or even remembering to pay your bills. AI agents could just handle all that for you, freeing up your time and energy for more important things.
Okay, so less time on hold with the cable company, more time for like, I don't know, learning astrophysics or finally writing that novel. But let's be real, a lot of people hear AI and they think job killer. How do we make sure these agents don't just automate away entire professions?
It's a valid concern, but Pandy actually argues that AI agents will create more opportunities than they eliminate. Think about it. We'll need people to design, train, and manage these agents. We'll need ethicists to make sure they're fair, cybersecurity experts to keep things secure, even artists to design the interfaces we use to interact with them.
So it's not just replacing human jobs, it's about creating new ones. Jobs that use our uniquely human skills like creativity, empathy, and critical thinking.
Exactly. And those skills will be even more valuable in a world where AI handles the routine stuff. Take healthcare, for example. AI agents could analyze medical images, flag potential issues for doctors, even personalize treatment plans based on a patient's genetic profile.
So instead of replacing doctors, these agents become their allies, giving them like superpowers to diagnose and treat diseases more effectively, like having a medical supercomputer as your partner in healthcare.
Exactly. And it's not just efficiency, it's about solving problems that have been around forever. Panday talks about using AI agents to model climate change, to optimize resource allocations, even develop personalized education plans for every child.
Okay, now we're talking about changing the world, not just automating our to-do lists. But with such powerful tech, there's got to be a catch, right? What about unintended consequences, unforeseen risks, those oh no moments we haven't even thought of yet?
That's where the open ecosystem comes in. By encouraging collaboration, transparency, and shared responsibility, we can create a system that's more resilient, adaptable, and ultimately more beneficial for everyone. It's like crowdsourcing the wisdom of humanity to guide the development of AI.
So it's not about handing over the reins to the machines. It's about building a future where humans and AI work together, each playing to their strengths. It's a powerful vision, and yeah, there will be challenges, but the potential benefits are just too big to ignore.
Exactly. And that's the message Pandy leaves us with. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's a choice we make. And it's a choice we need to make together.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left feeling both excited and, a little bit responsible. This world of 20,000 AI agents per company might sound like sci-fi, but it's closer than we think. And it's up to all of us to make sure this technology is used to create a future where everyone benefits. If those agents are like musicians in an orchestra, let's make sure they're playing a symphony of progress, not a dirge of unintended consequences. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.